All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Chardon United Methodist Church in our 10:30 a.m. modern worship that we like to call Struck. We're glad you came to join us today. If you happen to be a brand new visitor here, we want to remind you that we're not going to call you out or make you stand up. But if you are new, there's a time in just a minute where we'll kind of walk around and say hi to everybody. And if you find one of our ushers or greeters and let them know that you're new, they'll give you a little gift from us that lets you know a little bit more about our church and answer some questions. If you happen to be a visitor, you feel free to write into us, email us, let us know that you've been watching it online, and we'd love to get connected with you too, and always invite you to come and worship in person with us here in Chardon. Sunday school classes are going on right now. They usually go opposite of this service every Sunday, as well as our toddler room for our littles. We're on a little bit of a break right now for our LOL for the rest of this month and into February, but LOL kicked back up, I believe, at the start of the school year. Our Vacation Bible Sunday happening tonight is our last one, is also part of the youth group for today. So if you're one of our youth group, the youth group meeting is Vacation Bible Sunday. They're going to have a good time, some Bible stories, some activities, some games, and some food together. Anybody can come. It's welcome to families. Anybody that wants to show up, a part of the church family, can be there. It's 5 to 7 p.m. right here in our church. Also, we have a theater upstairs. We're doing our Chosen series. You can jump in at any time. They're all super powerful. Bring friends, but we can go up to the movie theater. There's usually popcorn, snacks, and the opportunity to get a chance to watch the Chosen series on the big screen up there in the surround sound, and we'd love you to join and be a part of that. That's every Wednesday night, and that happens again this Wednesday. Thursday, July 31st, is our Red Cross blood drive. I think I may have said it was last week, because I thought this week already has the 31st. I was giving away weeks of summer, which is not a good idea. I like to have those. But if you are somebody or know somebody that likes to give blood, that will be right here in this space on Thursday, noon to 6, and they do that regularly, and there's always a need for that, and it's a great way to give back and help other people. I want to mark your calendars as well. Red Bag Sunday, if you haven't done this yet, and putting it in there as a reminder to you, maybe like the week before the first week of the month, Red Bag Sunday happens. That's the food pantry that we give to. You can grab bags at either door by the information booth, and you just fill it with non-perishable goods, and that's one of the ways that this community, this church community, does big things to make a difference in the lives of our community. You would not believe how many lives have been touched. The food pantry has said many times that if it wasn't for the kindness of this church, that there would be a lot of people that don't have things, and that's been going on for such a long time, and we'd love you to be a part of it. Super simple. Grab a bag, bring it in next week, drop it off before the service starts, and they will get it to those folks. There is a big concert coming up. It has nothing to do with us, but it's always pretty cool. August 3rd is the fest. It's the 25th anniversary, and it will be headlined by Maverick City with Danny Goki. It's a free concert, and it's in Willowick at St. Charles Borromeo, and so if you want to go over there, that'd be an awesome place to go. And then finally, if you're part of the youth, or even if you love kayaking and you love being part of the church, you can go too, because the youth would love to have you, where they do their annual canoe and kayak event. If you didn't know that we have several rivers around here, and Camp High actually lets you rent the kayaks. They'll put you on a little bus, drive you all the way up, drop you off, and then you kayak all the way down, and then they pick you up out of the water, and it's a pretty cool adventure. They also have canoes if you're one of those people that really wants to be soaking wet and also fall over. But it's just my opinion about canoes. Okay. And so with that, I'll remind you again that we're super excited. Jody's going to be back next week. He's been off for the month, getting some respite care, and just getting a chance to get himself rejuvenated and reset. And he's back, and we're going to be back and ready to be on fire next week and bring us the word. So we're thankful for him, and continue prayers just that he gets that re-energized and gets some good, much-needed rest. So why don't you go ahead and stand up, give somebody a high five, a handshake, or a hug. If you're really feeling jumpy, a chest bump, I don't know. We haven't done that in a while. Maybe getting ready for sports season, and then we'll lift up the Lord's name in song.
Enjoy it. Once you leave, everything changes. And like, you still have home, but home doesn't feel like home anymore.
Vince and I always go for all three.
Go for what? You try to
High
build high
potential.
potential. From each other or different?
Each other.
That's cool.
All right, if you guys make your way back to your seats, we're going to start by singing a song called The Way, New Horizon. We're focusing a little bit today on sometimes life is tough, but when you've got God in your life, it doesn't necessarily make things less tough, but it's nice to know that the Savior of the world is on your side. You'll see lyrics over here to the left. If you're at home watching, you'll see them down here. We encourage you to turn up your TV or your phone and sing along with us. Through every battle, through every heartbreak, through every circumstance, I believe that you are my fortress. Oh, you are my portion. You are my hiding place. Oh, I believe you are the way, the truth, the life. I believe you are the way, the truth, the life. I believe you are. Through every blessing, through every promise, through every breath I take, oh, I believe that you are provider, oh, you are protector, you are the one I love, oh, I believe you are the way, the truth, the life. I believe you are the way, the truth, the life. I believe you are. It's a new horizon. This time we're going to go ahead and ask you to have a seat, and we're going to invite the ushers forward to receive this morning's offering. McKenna's going to lead us in a song called The Goodness of God. Would you pray with me? God, we come to you in this space today to meet you here, to bring everything we got with us, God, whether we're on the highest of highs or the lowest of lows right now. God, we're here in this place, and you remind us that we don't have to be anything other than yours here. We don't have to be better or perfect or finished or pure or anything to be here, God. And in fact, this is a place that you come to help us when we're not doing well, when things are struggling, when things are hard. And God, even when we're not looking for you, when you're not when we're not out there praying steadily, God, when we're not putting our focus and our hearts on you, God, that you are still, as McKenna's saying, running after us, God. That your goodness never leaves, that you are with us, God. And help us not only to remember that today, God, but as gifts have been placed in this offering, God, as gifts have been given of listening ears and praying hearts, God, and people teaching Sunday school classes and doing mission work, God, may other people get to know that you will never, ever stop chasing after us, because all you want is for us to know the peace that comes from knowing your Son, Jesus. God, bless the gifts in that plate, multiply them to do good things, and help us to be ready today, God, to hear from you. That's in your Son's mighty name we pray. Amen.
Good morning. Our reading today takes us into the raw and honest prayer of a woman named Hannah. After years of longing for a child and enduring ridicule, she brings her pain directly to God, not with perfect words, but with a heart that refuses to give up. As we listen to her cry, we're reminded that faith often looks like showing up and staying in the struggle. We are now going to hear from the reading 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 9 through 18. Once when they had finished eating and drinking in Shiloh, Hannah stood up. Now Eli the priest was sitting on his chair by the doorpost of the Lord's house. In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. And she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. As she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, and her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was drunk and said to her, How long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. Not so, my lord, Hannah replied. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief. Eli answered, Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him. She said, May your servant find favor in your eyes. Then she went her way and ate something, and her face was no longer downcast. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God.
All right, well, good morning again. All right, let's, are we good? Can everybody hear all right? Yeah, okay. I feel like I'm going to be talking loud today just because it feels like it. So we'll see if that carries out there or not. So I'm going to take you on a journey to my childhood home. And we were looking in my kitchen. And in my kitchen, on this stand over on the left, was a machine. A big machine. It was next to my refrigerator. And it was covered in that plasticky metal look stuff, but not like today when they put that chrome paper on top of stuff. If you tried to lift this, it took two people. And I'm, of course, talking about the Amana radar range. Please tell me someone's not going to leave me up here as the only person that knows radar range. Anybody else have a radar range in your growing up? Huh? Some of you were like, that's what's wrong with you. Just hearing the words radar range. Now, I looked it up to see if I could remember our radar range and what it looked like. I believe that the one that we had through, basically, I think all the way until I was in high school, was the actual original 1976 to 78 model. Like, they used to build stuff to last. And this machine did not have buttons on it and a beepy screen. It had a dial that you turned, and it dings when it's done like a kitchen timer, and it was powerful. When you would turn that thing on, lights would flicker in the house, and it would hum like a dryer. And leftovers were afraid. Like if you you're going in there and like they were done before you even knew you wanted them. Like pizza rolls, they burned your mouth before you could get them out. It's fast. The radar range is the epitome of fast. If I've lost you, it's the old microwave. Okay? Eventually, we replaced it, and somebody gave us a microwave. I think it probably still works somewhere. It's in a landfill running on its own. That's what the radar part means somewhere. It's just cooking things for rodents. It just is a beast, and it was so fast. And I think as a society, we like fast, don't we? I want stuff now. I want to get it done. I want to make things happen now. And in that very same kitchen, I don't know if I can call this a paradox or not, but in the very same kitchen, let's see if we can get you another memory. On our long kitchen counter was this other thing. And if you were like me and you had some of these older, well-made ones that just stuck around for a long time, you had one of two options. Yours was either somewhat tall and slender and avocado green, or yours was chubbier and short and off-white with grapes and vines going around it. Of course, I'm talking about the rival crock-pot slow cooker. Anybody in here want to admit they still have the avocado green one or did at one point? That was a beast, wasn't it? And then of course everybody had the one with grapes, because what else do you think of when you think of slow cooking but grapes and vines? Because I'm always slow cooking my grapes. But I don't think we could pick two different items, could we? The radar range was power, efficiency, let's get it done, let's make popcorn, we're watching a movie. And the slow cooker, like when I was a kid, you don't even know what's going on there. You smell food, but it's not in the oven, it's not in the microwave, like what's happening? And there's this like container and just stuff is happening in there. And it's not like an oven's a long time. We used to do shake and bake, and like that would take like an hour and a half to get chicken out of there. And like that's a long time. No, slow cooker's like it's there for 12 hours sometimes, just cooking away. And we don't like that. We want stuff now in our world, don't we? We like fast forward things. And today, we're ending a 4-week series that I called Just Push Play. And if you were here the first week, we had a sermon that was literally called Just Push Play. And we were talking about the fact that sometimes we just get stuck and we're waiting for God to push play. And sadly enough, we learned God doesn't push play. God will get you there. He will give you all the things you need to move. And sometimes he'll just be like, if you just jump, it's going to be awesome. But he's not going to push play for you. So we ask what's holding you back. Our second week, we talked about the record button and about leaving a legacy and how God will, he wants us to do those things, and sometimes it sounds like we're bragging. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to brag. It's not about bragging. It's bragging about God. When you do little things for people, somewhere something you did is being told as a story to somebody else, and that story of why this happened good in their life is because of somebody that cared about Jesus enough to do it, and that tells people that God is still good, and it's not just something that we talk about. I have people that have impacted me, and I've told stories about things they've done in my life and how it made an impact on my life, and because I tell that, people are like, wow, God is still good. It's not just something Christians say to sound fancy. We need to tell those stories. We need to leave those legacies. And in our third week, last week we talked about rewind and hitting that rewind button. You're like, what do you mean hitting the rewind button? And the sad news is we went into Revelation and we talked about God and how in Revelation they named Satan the accuser, and the word they used was categor. And it was a Greek term, and that word categor means to categorize. And he wants you to only know yourself as the things that you did. And he wants to whisper in your ears, you are failure, you're infidelity, you're addiction, you're a victim, you're a loser. And he keeps whispering those things, and you think that's who your identity is. And God says, no, you don't get to do anything. You can accuse all you want, but I make people clean when I want to, because I am the one that makes the final decision. I'm the last judgment, and I put new robes on people and chains them, but we sure love to hit rewind and sit in those, don't we? We want to sit there and remind ourselves of how bad things are, and God's like, live with me now. Be here with me. That's not who you are. Something that happened to you, it can be rough. It can be hard. It can be a difficult thing to deal with, but that's not who you are. Your name is not from yesterday. And today, if you haven't figured it out, we're doing the fast forward button. And the fast forward button, I think, might be the hardest sermon to hear out of all these, because it's hard to wait on things. You see, it's natural for us when things are difficult and not going well, for us to be like, man, I want out of this. I don't know if anybody can relate to me and has been in a point in your life where you were like, oh, if we just get enough money to move this apartment to house, then everything will be great. When the kids get a little bit older and not just screaming and crying, and we can actually take them places and put them in car seats, then everything will be great. When I get out of this job and I get a different job, then everything will be great. Does it sound familiar? And we do this at the risk of missing out on a lot of stuff that God's got for us. And there are people that'll come alongside of us and try to encourage us to do those things as well, to be like, oh, I get you, but yeah, you don't want to be in there. I remember when I was in there. I just get out of that as fast as you can, and that's a danger, because we don't serve a radar range God. We serve a slow cooker God, and he works and makes good things happen, and sometimes it takes time for those things to happen, and a lot of times we don't want to hear that. Hannah is one of those stories. What we just had read by Rochelle here in Samuel, I'm going to give you a little backstory on, and again, I'm just the messenger here, so I'm just telling you what life was like back then. I know things are a little bit different for the ladies today, but in that time period, it was not unusual for a man to be married to more than one woman. And part of the reason for that was because a woman wouldn't be allowed to own property. If she didn't have an heir, she might be left destitute with nothing. We learned a little bit about that last week with Naomi and Ruth, if you remember. Hannah was barren. She couldn't have kids. And she was married to this guy, and that not being able to have kids was a stigma at that time period that was bad. When you had that on you, people thought you were being punished, something was wrong with you. And in most of those cases, another reason why a man would marry multiple wives is because the more kids you can give me, the more heirs I have, the more that makes my household and my lineage hold up and look good and can own land and meet people and give me power. And when you don't provide that as a woman, they would look at that as some sort of a negativity or failure. And what's really interesting about Hannah's story, though, is that the Bible Old Testament has very little cutesy, lovey-dovey stuff in it. And if you go back and read the beginning of this, the husband of Hannah actually says to her so many nice things and says that he loves her so much. It actually makes the point to say that he says, "Am I not worth more than 10 kids to you?" in our relationship? And she can't hear that because all she hears is the negativity, because there's this lady named Peninnah who is his other wife, and Peninnah has kids and has given her husband lots of kids. And she loves to just dig at Hannah and make sure she knows how unworthy she is and how messed up she is. And every year they travel to the temple to give sacrifice and pray and ask for God to bless them in the upcoming year. And every year her husband loves her and supports her and takes her there. And every year Peninnah just digs at her and tells her how she's got all the kids and they're blessing the kids and she's being blessed through this and how you're not and what's wrong with you, and just pushes at her. And I think, is Hannah sitting here hearing this and going, man, if I could just get out of this season. I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be a part of this. And I wonder if you're in that place, if you're in a place or a season like that and you're thinking about that, do you have those people in your life? Have you had Peninnahs in your life that are like coming up to you and pushing and saying these things and negative and not being helpful? And they sometimes think they're doing good, sometimes they're just being mean. And they're trying to make sure you stay in that way and go, you know what, you just got to get out of this. They're trying to get you to fast forward through life so that you don't get the blessings of God. They want you to live fast forward, and they don't want you to sit there and be a part of this. And it's hard to be a part of those things. So, Hannah comes to this point where she's now in the temple. She won't eat because she's just sad after years and years of visiting and not getting the blessings of God and feeling like she just wants to give up. She doesn't. She keeps praying, and she stops, and after Peninnah leaves and her husband leaves, she just says this. She's leaning against the doorpost of the temple and just crying. And you picture the kind of crying she's doing. It's just snot, sob, gross, just beside herself crying that I know we've all done at some point in our life. And she's just muttering incoherent something. And in her heart, she's praying, God, will you just do something here? I just want to give a son. If you would give me a son, I would give him to you and have him raised to do your work. Just bless me with a son. And the priest, Eli, sees her and thinks she's drunk. She's like, I'm not drunk. I just want so badly for God to hear my cries. And Eli says, may he hear your cries. May he be blessed. And she left with her heart raised. Nothing's changed yet. Nothing's different, but she left with her heart raised and went away. And Hannah, the point I want to make sure we get out of this is, in this time period, Hannah has not given up on God. You kind of wonder how many times Peninnah said, I don't know why you even go anymore. God obviously doesn't care for you. Why do you want to listen to God? If you've ever been in places like that in your life before, where she's hearing this negativity, but Hannah didn't. Now, I bet you some of her prayers weren't the nicest, and I've had those days in my life where my prayers haven't been the nicest either, where I've been upset, but I didn't give up on that, because I think Hannah had that foundation built in her, and I think I want to take this time to make it. I think I've made this point every single sermon I've taught in this series. And I hope that it's as theologically sound as it can be, because I believe it very wholeheartedly. I don't believe that God is the author of infertility. I don't believe that God is the author of addiction. I don't believe that God is the author of infidelity. I don't believe that God is the author of cancer. I believe we live in a broken world, and I think bad things happen here. But what I do believe is that God stays with us in those things. Are you following me? Are you with me? I believe that God will stay with us in those things. And so instead of us, which just drives me nuts, is God gave him cancer because we're going to learn something from it. God had that happen to you. Instead of that, what I'm hearing is cancer happened and God never left. Infidelity happened and God stayed with me. Addiction happened and God stayed there. That God stays with us because God is a slow cooker God. He doesn't run off. He's not waiting and pointing at you and laughing and watching you in your judgment and your time. That's what you get. That's what you deserve. Figure it out on your own. God is there as that goes on. And where I draw some proof from that is we're going to jump to the last book of the Old Testament, Malachi. And when you do sermons, if you ever wonder, like, when those guys write sermons, how does it work? There's a lot of different processes. Part of it is I just see things when I'm driving my car and I voice record it, or I see something at home and I type it into something, or I put it in my notes in my phone. And sometimes when you're in the zone and you hope God is trying to give you stuff, you're scrolling through social media. And this week I scrolled through an Instagram reel, and it was one of those ones where, like, I swear people don't even do anything. They just watch other people do stuff and then go, watch this. And I'm like, okay. And it was somebody telling a story about a women's Bible study. And the women's Bible study is one of those ones, I don't know if any of you have ever been in one of those Bible studies where they only read like one verse at a time and they break down every single word of it. And they're like, ooh, this one ended in a plural. It has an S. And last time it didn't. What does that mean? And it was like one of those kind of Bible studies. And as they're reading it, they come across the verse Malachi chapter 3, verse 3. I'm going to read it to you. It says, he will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. And then the Lord will have men who will bring offerings in righteousness. Are you with me? So he's saying, in here, he will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And so they were hung up on this. And the one lady at the end goes, ooh, I want to find out more about this. I'm going to go find a silversmith. Now, I don't know that this is a true story. If they really did this, it makes great for social media reels. But she said she went to find a silversmith, and she did. And she asked the silversmith, can you tell me about, like, silversmithing? What does it do? And he goes, well, when you get silver, it's not purified. There's, like, stuff in it that needs to come out. Oh. See the little biblical connection there? It's impure. It's like us. I see where you're going with this. Yeah. And he goes, so what do you have to do to make it pure? And he goes, I have to heat it up. We have to put it on a fire, and it has to get heated up to get the impurities out. And I say, keeps going, right? And she goes, oh, it does? Does it take like a long time? Does it happen really fast? And he goes, no, it doesn't happen fast. It takes a while to do it. She goes, oh, because we really saw this word sit, and we were like, it says he will sit as a refiner. And that's what we were curious about. Do you have to sit and watch it, or do you go away? And he's like, yeah, I do actually have to sit and watch it. So I have to stay there and keep my eye on it, because if it doesn't get the right heat, the impurities will stay in it. If it gets too much heat, it's going to damage it. But when it gets the right amount of heat, the impurities come out and we get pure silver. And she goes, well, how do you know when it's done? How do you know when it's all pure and clean? He says, when I can see my image in it. When I can see my reflection. Now, is that exactly what happened? I don't know. And I don't like it when pastors come up here and tell cutesy stories they find on the internet and they're not real and they can't back them up. So I looked up a whole bunch of stuff about it. And it turns out that whether this exact story happened, that's exactly what happens to silver. I looked it up. I tried to research to see if these things all lined up, and they said yes. In order for silver to get purified, there are impurities in it. When you heat it up, certain things will float to the top and can be skimmed off. And they do know that it's done whenever it becomes shiny and pretty. And you guys have seen pretty silver things. You can see your reflection in it. And so the reason why they used this language in Malachi with some people that were just full of impurity at this time and had just gone away from God, and he's trying to get them back together on that, is because he needed to keep them by that fire and put them under some pressure so that the impurities would come out. And if you've ever been there, folks, if you've ever been in a place where you have had that low, fiery pressure time where you feel like, God, why is this happening to me? Please let me go. At some point, it gets so hard that you either give up and you go, I'm done. I don't want any of this anymore. And you listen to the paninas that are trying to tell you to move on and do whatever else, or you realize it's just me and God. And that's when he starts to see his reflection in you, and he can work with that. And so he doesn't sit there and judge. He's not over top of you looking at you going, ha, take that. I'll burn that impurity out of you. But he's with you in those things. Are you with me? I've been in places that just... A lot of you know some of my story. When I was younger, I was in middle school. My dad and mom came home to let me know that my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and they gave him like 6 months to live. It turned out he lived a lot longer than that. He lived about 6 years. But that's a lot when you're in middle school. And I don't ever want to go back to that place again in my life. But I prayed and prayed and prayed for my dad. I prayed every single day and night. Changed my prayer life. I prayed to take the cancer. I prayed so hard that for months after he died, I prayed the same prayers to ask God to take the cancer away from a guy that was already gone. And he never answered my prayer. But part of who I am today, part of needing to step up when they were at hospital visits and doing things, is because of the fire I was put under. And people were at me. There were paninas in there going, hey,
Why do you even believe in that? Wasn't your dad like a big church guy that did stuff at church and he's got cancer? Why do you believe in a God that does that? And they wanted. And I just thank God that I had a foundation of faith, that there was a rock that I was built on, because there were times when I was very angry at God. We talked a little bit, if you were in here on our second Sunday, we talked about a big story that was important to me about when Delaney was born and she was in the neonatal intensive care unit, and a story about that. But what I didn't tell you is when we came home, it didn't get a whole lot better right away. She had colic like nobody we've ever heard. And I know some of you named your daughter Angel, and she's angelic, and she sleeps all the night, which is why she's an angel. And you know what? Good. I'm proud of you. But Delaney cried and cried and cried and cried and screamed so hard that she would scream until she vomited, and then I would clean vomit off of a coffee table, and Denise would clean vomit off of a Denise and a Delaney, and then she would cry more, and then vomit more, and then cry, and then you would get her to bed, and you would finally get her to sleep, and the floor would creak like this much, and it's like you'd think this is like from an 80s TV show or a 90s TV sitcom. It was our life every single day, and I don't want to go back there ever. I don't want to be, but part of who we are as parents, part of the reason why Denise has unlimited patience for our kids and me is because of that part of our life. It's part of what made us who we are. And I'll tell you this is my little, I always like to have like a mini side sermon to take for you. This is the little mini side sermon in the sermon today. If you're ever planning on getting married, Disney, no, like all the rom-coms, it's not like that. Marriage isn't a thing where you find your special soulmate and it's magic forever. It doesn't work that way, okay? Marriage is a job. I had a roommate that I lived in the same bedroom with. We had a one-bedroom apartment, okay? And he was my really good friend. We played basketball together. We liked all the same video games. We liked the same movies. We did stuff, and I still wanted to tear him apart after living with him for 3 years. And we liked everything together. When you're marrying somebody that usually is a yin and a yang. Sometimes you're opposite each other. You go to bed every single night in the same room. You wake up in the same place every day. You go to the same sink in the bathroom every single day. You're going to get into it. Marriage is amazing. It's wonderful, but it's a job, and you have to work at it. And there was a point about 10 years in our marriage where our marriage was this close to falling apart, and we had to go to counseling, and we had to do some things, and it was hard, and I never want to go back there, ever. But the husband that I am now, the wife that Denise is now, and the example we are to our kids now, we would never be if it wasn't for that. God took what I could have microwaved and jumped out of, and he put it in a slow cooker, and because we had that foundation and we stayed there, God followed along. And when we realized that that's all we had left was God, and we had to rely there, God took that mess and turned it into something good. But you have to be in that place for it. And I said, there were Peninas along the way trying so hard to get us to go, why don't you just be happy and do what you want? It'll make you feel better. Why don't you wait till you get toddlers? They're way harder. You don't know what anything's like. You know, why don't you leave? Your dad was a huge God follower. Why do you still believe in that nonsense? Obviously nobody cares. You let him die. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to the Peninas? Or are you listening to God? Because Hannah never quit listening to God. And at the end, it's cute because Eli's like, I hope that you get what you want. And that's real easy for me as a pastor to sit here and say those things, to come up here as somebody standing up here and trying to teach stuff and go, oh, I hope you get what you want. And knowing that it doesn't always work that way. But it did for Hannah. Hannah leaves, and that year she conceives Samuel, who the book was named after, who would become a very powerful man of God, who would then eventually be the last judge of Israel before they demanded a king, and he would anoint Saul to be the first king of Israel, and then later he would anoint David, King David of Jerusalem, the lineage of Jesus Christ, as the king of Israel. And then she would go on to have many more sons. And the story ends well, that God was cooking up something good in that crock pot. He was working on her to be something special, that she was ready to be seen, that God could see his reflection. When she gave that prayer up, she's like, I see you. I'm not going anywhere. And I wonder, folks, what are you dealing with right now? What is going on in your life that you're going, gosh, if I could just hit fast forward. If I could just get out of this moment right now, I want to. Like everyone's telling me, just this is terrible. You'll get to this next spot. Just jump. And I want to remind you that we serve a God that works like a slow cooker and not like a radar range or a microwave. Our God has to be with you in those things. And gosh, I wish that we didn't live in a broken world, and I wish I didn't have to tell you that my dad didn't get better. And I know there are people that have wanted a child so bad, and it never happened like Hannah did, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that's how it goes. And there are people, like I said, that have wanted and tried and they've hurt and our world is broken, and all I can tell you is that one day we need to go home and be with God. But I can tell you that when you try to fast forward through all those things, all you're going to do is skip out on all of your life. Don't wish time away. Your God can do amazing things in those places, and he can turn you into something special and make good things happen as those things go. And I say to you, don't rush the miracle. Don't rush God's move, and don't try to microwave your call. Let God cook that tenderness and mercy and goodness and all that flavor into your life like a slow cooker. I want to invite the band back on stage. And as they come up here and we're going to do our last song, I want to give you something to just think for a second as we sit here. And if this has been hopefully marinating, pun intended, on you right now, if you're in that place where everything seems like you are just being held to the fire, know God's with you. Also know that's why we have church, why we have community, so people can go along it. And if you're in that place where, like, right now I'm feeling pretty all right, I'm not feeling like I'm put to the fire right now at this moment in my life. I have been recently, but I'm not. Don't be a Penina. Don't be that to somebody else. In this moment, think right now, who are the people in your life that need somebody to be feeding into them? God is with you. God is making you something bigger and better in this moment. Don't wish your way out of it. Don't skip over the good graces and gifts that God has for you. And so I'm going to have Dane play a little bit right now so that it's not super quiet and uncomfortable with all the clicking and tapping. And I want to do something where I'm going to start praying for like about 10 seconds, and then I'll count in my head. We don't do this very often. I never shut up. I talk and talk and talk. And I think maybe sometimes the way we hear God is by listening. And so I want to just give you a chance to reflect on if you're in that low spot right now, if you're hurting, if you're in a place where God is you're just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm tired of praying and I'm tired of begging that you just be quiet and sit in it for a minute. And if you're one of those people who's maybe not on the top of a mountain, but maybe you're somewhere, all right? You're sitting on a hill, you're not in the floodwaters, the storms aren't raging around you. Maybe start thinking about who are the people in your life that need to not be distracted and not be told to skip it, but to know that God is good, and to maybe know from your story that there was a time when you were struggling and where God was there for you and that you would never go back to it. I don't want to be where you're at, I get it. But gosh, I'm who I am now because of the changes God's made. Would you pray with me? God, I thank you for this moment in time. I thank you for this gift, this energy that you give us. And God, I just thank you that while we want to rush through everything, God, you are here and that you never go. That you're the same yesterday, today, and always. May we in our hurts, God, come to you. May we, even if all we can do is just mutter and snot-nosed cry and say nothing that makes any sense like Hannah did, God, we know you'll hear us. May in this moment we take a breath, and for just a minute, God, may we just hear you. And God, if there are people in here who need you to bring to light hurts in their hearts, if there are people in this room that need you to bring to the light things that they've been keeping somewhere dark in the back places of their mind, something they've covered up, something they've tried to skip or move, God, will you bring it to the surface and let them know that you never left, that you're there, and that you will be there, and they can grow into something special through it. Purify our hearts, God. Let us just pray to you now. we thank you, and if you're still praying, you guys can keep praying. You don't have to stop with me. But God, we thank you that you hear us always. And God, as at the end of the book of Malachi, there was like a 400-year silence, God, but you are slow cooking the greatest thing ever. You are preparing the hearts of the Hebrew people, the Israelites, for the coming of your Son, Jesus Christ, who would change everything forever by dying on a cross. And it's not us, God. It's not the things we do. Help us to remember that it's him. It's because of his gift, because of that act that we get to be with you. And we don't have to do anything special. We don't have to be anything special, God. It's just that. Let us remember that every day, that through the cross, we can be renewed. And through the cross, you can speak to us. And through the cross, God, you can help us in these hard times. I know there are a lot of churches hurting right now, God. There are a lot of churches that after COVID, it was like, are we in a lull? Are we in one of those silent places, God? But I know that your church is the hope of the world, and that you're a slow cooker, God, and that maybe right now what your church is doing is it is just getting seasoned, and it is spending extra time becoming more tender and more wise and more good, and it is building a sweet-smelling aroma that's going to draw people to your doors. May we continue to work hard here and monitor that crock pot, God, that it might just be full and ready for when people come to dine. We thank you for the hearts in this room, God, and I just lift them up that all might come to know you more. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. All right, if you stand and join us, we're going to sing our closing song. The song we're going to sing as we close is Firm Foundation.
Faithful in every season.
All right, y'all. Well, don't forget that next week is Mary Friend Week, and that God loves you. There's nothing you can do about it, and so do we. I don't know I'm feeling this, but I don't know if there's somebody in here that needs to pray. I will stick around afterwards if you want to pray with me. I just got a feeling somebody needs to. So if you need to, I'll be here. I don't know if I got a couple other people in here. I know there's a couple people that are good prayers here that maybe if a couple people need to, maybe somebody else will step here and pray with you too. But we're going to play this loop out as people are kind of heading their way out, and if somebody needs to come up here, I'll be over here and be glad to pray with somebody if they need to.